Hello viewers, yes, this is Ranjana ma'am and you're watching. Yes, it's mine as well as your channel. And you know what is coming up. Yes, Act 2, Scene 3 of Julius Caesar for my class 9 students. Now ISC students, don't feel bad. The next video which follows will be yours. So if you have not subscribed to my channel up till now, please do. And don't forget to press the like button. I'm getting a lot of views but not many likes. So don't you all like my videos? Come on. I think I deserve it. So anyhow, let's continue with Julius Caesar Act 2 Scene 3. Where does the scene take place? It's a place in Rome. A street near the Capitol. Capitol is their parliament where all the senators meet. And enter Artemidorus reading a paper. Artemidorus is a teacher. Somehow he has got to know about the conspiracy regarding the assassination of Julius Caesar. So he wants to warn Caesar, and thus he has written a letter. And in this letter he has mentioned the name of the conspirators and told Caesar to be aware of them. So here is the letter of Artemidorus. Enter Artemidorus reading a paper. Artemidorus, Caesar, be aware of Brutus. So this is the letter. He has written the letter and he is reading it to himself to see whether he has written everything correctly. Beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius, come not near Casca, have an eye to Cinna, trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber, Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast long wronged Caius Ligarius. So he mentions all the conspirators. He tells Caesar to be aware of Brutus and also of Cassius. He tells don't come close to Casca and have a look or have a close watch on Cinna. Don't trust Trebonius. And also mark well, that means observe Metellus Cimber very well. Decius Brutus, don't be under the opinion that he loves you. He doesn't love you. And you have done wrong to Caius Ligarius, and that is why he is angry with you. So he mentions all these people, and what does he tell? There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. So he says all these men whom he has named just now, he says they are joined by one common motive, and that is to do you harm. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. So if you don't consider yourself to be immortal, be on your guard. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. So he says that when you are not cautious, it encourages people to plot against you. So may the gods help you, may the gods save you, your friend, thy lover Artemidorus. So your friend or your lover Artemidorus. So he seems to be fond of Julius Caesar. After reading the letter, he says, here will I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If you read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. So after reading this letter, he says that he will wait here for Caesar to pass by, and when Caesar passes by, as an appeal, he will put forward the letter. He knows it is dangerous to stop Caesar and say, Caesar, be aware, your life is in danger, the people around you are plotting against you. You can't say that, then he will also be killed. So very cleverly he wants to act as a suitor and hand over the letter to Caesar. And he feels sorry that a virtuous man cannot escape exciting the jealousy of others. Yeah, Caesar is a virtuous man, and as such many people are jealous of him because he has risen to great heights. The main conspirator Cassius is jealous of Caesar. So Artemidorus realizes this and he says, my heart feels sad. Why? Because my heart feels sad when I think that a man like you, a virtuous man like you, cannot escape the jealousy of others. He has excited the jealousy of others. If you read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. And he says, Caesar, if you read my letter, you may at least have a chance of living. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. And if you don't read my letter, it means that fate is on the side of the conspirators. So this is the shortest scene in Julius Caesar, and this is where this scene comes to an end. So one of the shortest scene where Artemidorus writes a warning letter to Caesar and waits at the side of the street as a suitor to hand over the letter to Caesar, and he feels that if Caesar reads the letter, he might have a chance to survive, but if he doesn't read the letter, it means that fate is joining hands with the traitors, whom he calls joining hands with the conspirators, whom he calls the traitors. So this is where just the gist of the scene, and this is where this scene comes to an end. So now just wait a little for Act 2, Scene 4 to come up in the very same video. Yeah, so we are back, and this is where Act 2, Scene 4 starts. Another part of the same street before the house of Brutus. So the previous one, that means Act 2, Scene 3, it was the same street which went to the capital, which led to the capital. Artemidorus is waiting there. This very same street, this is another part. Which part? The part which is in front of Brutus's house. So in one part Artemidorus is waiting, another part, who is waiting outside Brutus's hut? It's Brutus's house. It's Portia and their servant Lucius. Enter Portia and Lucius. Portia, I pray thee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay? So Portia has been told of the assassination plan of Julius Caesar by Brutus. And since Brutus has left for Caesar's house, Portia is very worried. She is full of anxiety. She knows that if they are successful, well and fine. If they fail, it will be very difficult for them to survive, because they will be condemned as traitors and they will be executed. Once they are caught as traitors, they will be executed. So this is a very dangerous mission which they have undertaken, and naturally Portia, being Brutus's wife, is very worried. So she is waiting outside her house with the servant, and she wants him to go to the capital and bring news to her about what is happening there, but she cannot tell it directly because it might make Lucius suspicious. So what does she tell him? I request you, I pray thee, boy, run to the Senate house, go to the capital, stay not to answer me, don't even wait to answer me, just run. And then she sees him still standing, so she is telling, why are you waiting? Lucius, to know my errand, madam. I am waiting here to know my job. You are telling me to go to the capital, but why? What is the reason? What is the job that you want me to perform? I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldest do there. So she has no sufficient reason to offer him. She cannot tell, I want you to go and see what Brutus and his fellow men are doing. Whether Caesar has been killed or not, she can't ask him these questions. Go and see and tell me that. So she says that I just wish that you go there and come back before I could tell you why I want you to go there. And then she speaks an aside. That means the audience can hear her but not the boy. O Constancy, be strong upon my side. So she is referring to constancy. Constancy is here being personified. So she is calling upon her firmness of mind, constancy, and she wants that please don't let me betray the disturbance of my heart. Be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and my tongue. So let not what is in my heart come out through my tongue. That means let not what is in my heart, let me not speak out what is in my heart. So set a huge mountain between my heart and my tongue, so that my tongue is not able to speak out what is happening in my heart, the thoughts in my heart. I have a man's mind but a woman's might. So mentally I might be strong as a man, but in some respects I am just as weak as other women are. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet? So yes, it is very difficult for women to keep a secret. So everywhere it is the same story. In India also it was said that Yudhishthir in Mahabharata had cursed Kunti after he came to know that Karna was his own brother, elder brother. So he said, how could you keep a secret? And then he cursed that from now onwards women will not be able to keep secret. And since then women have never been able to keep a secret. So Kunti had kept such a secret that they never knew that Karna was their brother. So he cursed, and this is on account of this curse that women cannot keep secrets. Jokes apart, it is said, I don't know the truth of it. Art thou here yet? And then she sees Lucius still standing. So he says, you are still here. So Lucius, poor fellow, he is so confused, he is puzzled. So he says, Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you and nothing else. So madam, I am just waiting to know the job you want me to do. Do you just want that I should go to the capital and come back without doing anything else? Portia, yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well. For he went sickly forth, and take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. And so she says that yes, go to the capital and see whether your master is looking better, whether Brutus is looking better, because when he left the house, he was not very well. And also note or observe carefully who are the people who are close to Caesar and what is Caesar doing. Hark, boy, what noise is that? Hark is Old English for hear or listen. Then she feels that there is some noise somewhere, and she tells Lucius that, listen, boy, what noise is that? Lucius, I hear none, madam. So it's Portia's panicky thoughts which make her feel that she hears noise, because Lucius doesn't hear any noise. So he says, I hear none, madam. Portia, prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumour like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital. So Portia says, I heard a bustling rumour. So she hears a loud noise, like that of a fight, as if some people are fighting. And it is coming from the capital. It is coming from the side of the capital. That means from the direction of the capital, the noise is coming as if some people are fighting there. Lucius, sooth, madam, I hear nothing. So he says, Madam, in fact, I don't hear anything. Now the soothsayer comes. It is that very soothsayer. Remember, the soothsayer who had warned Julius Caesar to be aware of the Ides of March. It is that very soothsayer, and he comes. Portia, come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been? So, Portia wants to know from the soothsayer if he has some information to give to her. So, from where are you coming? From which direction are you coming? Soothsayer, at mine own house, good lady. So, good lady, I am coming from my own house. Portia, what is it o'clock? So, Portia wants to know the time. Soothsayer, about the 9th hour, lady. So, it is 9 o'clock. Remember, they had gone to Caesar's house at 8 o'clock and 1 hour has elapsed since then. So, it's very natural for Portia to be anxious to know if anything has really happened or not. Is Caesar yet gone to the capital? So she asked the soothsayer whether Caesar has gone to the capital. Has he reached the capital? So what does the soothsayer say? Madam, not yet. So he hasn't gone as yet. Remember, he had told that let's have a drink and then as friends we will all go together. Caesar had told Brutus and the others. So she gets the information which she had wanted to know, that Caesar has not yet gone to the capital. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital. So why has the soothsayer come here? The soothsayer wants to take up a place from where he will be able to see Caesar as Caesar passes the street on his way to the capital. That means this street leads to the capital and Caesar will be passing through this street. So the soothsayer wants to take a position from where he will be able to see Caesar very clearly. Portia, thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not? So Portia wants to know why he wants to see Caesar. So she is asking him, do you have an appeal to make to Caesar? Don't you? Soothsayer, that I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself. Soothsayer says, yes, lady, I have an appeal to Caesar. If Caesar is so good to pay attention to what I have to say to him, if he is good enough to listen to what I have to say to him, then I will request him to be kind towards himself. That means not to be ruthless or not to ignore his warnings. He had warned him at the feast of Lupercal also. Caesar, beware the Ides of March, and he is still doing the same. He is waiting here to warn Caesar. And you will see in Act 3, Scene 1, how arrogantly Caesar challenges him. The Ides of March has come. Then the soothsayer says, yes, come, but not yet gone. His words prove to be the truth. Because Ides of March had come, Caesar had come to the capital, but soon he was assassinated. So it proved to be dangerous. Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him? So Portia wants to cleverly know whether the soothsayer knows of the conspiracy. So she is asking him, do you have any information or do you have any thoughts, any idea that some harm is intended towards Caesar? Soothsayer, none that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. So he says that I am not sure whether there is some harm intended towards Caesar, but I am afraid some danger may fall upon him. Good morrow to you. Then he bids her goodbye. Here the street is narrow, so he wants to leave this place and go. Why? Because he feels this place is narrow. The street at this point is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at his heels, the throng means the crowd. The crowd which is following Caesar at his heels means following Caesar closely. And who are the people who are following Caesar closely? Of senators, of praetors, common suitors. So the people who are following closely are the senators. That means, like in India we call them the MPs, member of parliament. So there they call it senators. So senators and praetors that means the governors, and common suitors, common people who have come up with one appeal or the other to Caesar to redress it. So many people following Caesar will crowd the feeble man almost to death. So he feels the crowd which is following Caesar closely will choke or suffocate a weak man like him to death. I'll get me to a place more wide and then speak to great Caesar as he comes along. So he says, I will go to some more spacious place, some place which is more spacious. This place is narrow, the street here is narrow. I will go and wait for Caesar at a more spacious place, speak to great Caesar as he comes along, and there I will wait for Caesar and talk to him as he passes by. Portia, I must go in. So Portia wants to go inside her house, and aside it is for the audience to hear, "Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is." So she confesses that the heart of woman is really very weak. "O Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise." So Brutus is not present here, but she just wishes that the gods may help him in his enterprise and he should meet with success. This is what she wishes, that may you meet success in your endeavors by the blessings of God. May the gods help you to get success in your endeavors. Sure, the boy heard me, and then she feels, oh my God, Lucius must have heard me. So now she explains, she gives an explanation to Lucius why she said this, so that he doesn't become suspicious. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. So she is explaining, she is giving an explanation that Brutus has an appeal to make to Caesar and he is sure that Caesar will not grant it. And that is why I just said that may the gods help Brutus to be successful in his endeavors. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. So then she says, I feel like fainting. So Lucius, go, run, and tell my lord, that means tell my lord Brutus, say I am merry. Tell him that I am fine, I am okay, I feel I am fainting, but run to my lord and tell him that I am fine. Come to me again and bring me word what he doth say to thee. Then come back and let me know what he has told you. So this is a clever way of sending him to the capital to know what is happening or what is going to happen. So I feel like fainting. So go and tell your Lord Brutus that I am merry, and just come back and tell me what he did tell you. Rather, she is more interested in knowing not what Brutus told Lucius, but what is happening in the capital. Because whatever happens, if something really happens there and Lucius is there at that time, he will come and report it as it has happened to Portia, and that is what she wants. So this is where Act 2 comes to an end. Not many scenes, only 4 scenes. Of that, Act 2 Scene 3 is the shortest one. And these two are easy also. Act 2 Scene 1 and Act 2 Scene 2 were difficult. So these are easy scenes. So I have clubbed them together for you. And this is your class 9 syllabus of Julius Caesar. In class 10 you will have Act 3, Act 4 and Act 5. So bye for the time being, and yes, and please do subscribe.